Hey, girlfriend.
Wow.
This is the effects of quarantine. After staying indoors for so long, my hair just went psst. Just kidding, Leslie just curled my hair. Today's a special day because I want to talk about one of my favorite fragrances of all time, probably. But too bad it's discontinued. I know I shouldn't talk about discontinued fragrances, but what if I told you that you can get it now anytime you wanted because they cloned it? Congratulations, you are watching the best smelling channel on YouTube, according to me. Just one guy's opinion. J-ROYL is a channel all about fragrances, mainly for men, but women too, because I don't want to split my audience in half. Em7 Fresh is a phenomenal fragrance that I'm really lucky to have in my collection. It was made by Yves Laurent back in the day. It's a fresh flanker of M7, which was one of the most prolific Western oud fragrances on the market. It has a cult following amongst fragrance collectors, and both the original and the fresh version are sought after collector's items. And I was always really cautious about wearing it because I knew one day it would be gone forever. That is until Parfums Vintage decided to not only clone M7 Fresh, but make an intense version as well. They sent me these to test out because they knew I'm a huge fan of the original. So what I'm going to do is give you my first impression of each fragrance and compare it to the original on my skin. So my baseline is going to be M7 Fresh. Already familiar with this, but let's give it a nice little distribution. I almost put the cap on like that. That looks stupid. It smells great in the air. Wow. Wow. It's good, man. It's so unique, so wearable. It's such a unique fragrance because it's wearable, but it smells way different than anything else. Woody citrus fragrances are really awesome because they maintain their masculinity and their freshness too. I love it. I'm gonna wear this today probably. Now we're gonna spray Maverick and I'll tell you what I think right off the bat. With clones, there has to be a level of familiarity when I smell it. Like it has to actually smell like I sprayed M7 Fresh on my skin. Does it? No, not quite. So Maverick is a little sharper with the citrus, I find. A bit creamy too. And a little bit sweeter for whatever reason. There's more woods right off the bat with M7 Fresh. Maverick citrus seems like it comes from bergamot too, which is a little more of a tart feel to it. I think they're in a similar category, but there are quite a few differences off the opening. Still smells good. It's just a bit of a different fragrance. Also, it's worth mentioning, this is my bottle of M7 Fresh. I have no idea how it was stored. I have no idea how it was kept. It's quite possible that it smells very different than it once did, but I have to compare it to what I have. In the opening, there's enough of a difference that I wouldn't recognize this as M7 Fresh if I didn't know it was trying to be M7 Fresh. But with that said, let's try Maverick Intense because intense is always better. So we'll do forearm for this. Let's see if there's that familiarity, nostalgic scent in the air. Okay, so it's a little more straightforward with that citrus tartness. I think I prefer it a little bit more off the opening. It is a little more citrus heavy, but they're definitely the same scent. Like they have the same scent profile, the same characteristics to them. So far from the opening, it seems like it's not a spot-on clone. We're gonna let these dry down. We're gonna see where they go because oftentimes clones, if they start off a bit different, they tend to resolve themselves and end up in a similar place. I'm gonna give this about an hour or so, see where we're at. Maybe get Leslie's opinion and she can pick her favorite out of the bunch. So we'll catch you in a little bit. Transition! Wanna say that again?
Hello.
I'm doing a little ASMR. I'm back with someone who... A half a head. You have to take my word that this is Leslie, but I'm just too lazy to adjust the camera. Oh, there she is. So before I give you my final thoughts on these fragrances, I'm gonna get Leslie to tell me what she thinks of them live. Pre-recorded, but we're feeling like it's live right now. So fragrance number 1, what do you think of it? Do you like it?
Yes.
Yes. Cool. Fragrance number 2, do you like it?
It's hard to smell.
Hard to smell. Give it another go.
Okay, yeah, it's a bit further down your hand.
Okay.
It's there.
Okay. Which one do you like better?
I think this one just because I can smell it more.
And then the third one on my forearm around this region.
On your elbow. Smells like the grass.
So what's your favorite of the three?
One.
One. Thank you, Leslie.
Is that the right one?
I mean, if you want. It's whatever you pick is the right one.
What's your one?
It's the one that everyone's gonna go buy now because you liked it most.
What's your one?
This is the original Em7 Fresh. It's a flanker of a discontinued fragrance. It's also discontinued. We have Maverick and Maverick Intense by Parfums Vintage, which are basically a clone and the intense clone of this one.
That one. Oh.
So here are my thoughts. Maverick and Maverick Intense started as quite a deviation from the original Em7 Fresh. And like I said, that could just be because my Em7 Fresh is old. I didn't own it when it was first brand new out of the box. I also have never smelt it when it was currently in circulation. I picked up an older bottle, don't know how it was stored, but from my video that I did about Allure Homme Edition Blanche and the old formulation, which I got a decant of, I did notice that as a fragrance gets older, the fresh citrus aspect of the fragrance does die down, which makes total sense. They're the most volatile smells in fragrance. They're very sensitive, they're fleeting after a time, they disappear, and all you're left with is the middle and the dry down. That's what I suspect happened to my Em7 Fresh based on this, because the original is a lot creamier, it's more powdery, it's a little more woody. The other two have more citrus, and I do feel the citrus is a little more green. There is a bit of orange, but I think it's mostly bergamot to my nose. Leslie picked the regular Maverick as her favorite. I can kind of see why. Maverick Intense is a little more towards the woody side in the dry down, while Maverick still has a lot of the citrus elements to it. I think they're both great fragrances. Are they carbon copies? They're not, especially of the one that I have. But who am I to say? I don't know what the original smelled like in its heyday. Even if I did smell Em7 Fresh when it first came out and I knew what it smelled like, who's to say I can remember exactly how it smelled then? Now. Overall, I am surprised how close it did get in the dry down though. It did develop into an Em7 smell, but it still has that citrus element to it, so it kind of fulfills that niche for me. If you can't get a hold of this and you want something that has that oud, that woodiness from the original Em7, but it's completely wearable in the summer, and from what I can tell, has great performance, especially Maverick on the projection side of things, go ahead and give him a shot. Roll the dice, especially if you can get it discounted or for free. Bit of a humble brag there. If you want to catch my video on all the pineapple clones out there, it's right here for your viewing pleasure. Very pleasurable video, I can assure you that. Thanks for watching, guys. See you on the next video. Subscribe if you haven't. Bye.